Oh, why hello. Get out of my face. Hey friend, how's it going? Um, Lately there seems to be a lot of confusion about non-duality. And unfortunately, it's not going to get any better. Uh, yeah. And it doesn't need to. It's simpler than that. But what seems to arise in this character is confusion about what this is really. What can be really confusing is that there can be times of apparent clarity where it all makes sense. But it's not really that. It's not that it makes sense. It's just seen for how simple it really is, which makes sense naturally. And so this memory appears of a glimpse or whatnot. Or maybe it doesn't. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter. But yeah, you know. It's like, what the fuck? This made sense at one point. It doesn't make any sense now, or like, what about this? Is this teaching clear? There are other apparent speakers who have apparent varying levels of clarity, and it can seem as though there's a truth or not truth, or clarity and not clarity, and it gets real confusing. It can get real confusing. It doesn't need to. But it certainly can appear. Certainly. For this character here, I mean, this is all a story. I'm going into story now. There would be this kind of roller coaster, up down, of understanding, not understanding, understanding, not understanding, frustration about not understanding, freedom and clarity that it's already understood, and then the apparent, you know, going to sleep, waking up the next day, and what the fuck just happened? You know, and then thoughts like, oh, well, nothing happened, you know, all the things that the people who share this message say, and there's actually nothing, and nothing happens, and blah, 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 blah. What a bunch of bull crap, you know? Obviously, there are things happening. Look, some dude talking. There's a bush. Leaves are moving. I'm making a video that I'm gonna post on YouTube. That's the dream, man. And it can be seen that it here's the hot keyword. It can be seen, but not by somebody. And when clarity arises, it doesn't arise for anyone. You just think it does. or maybe you don't. So here's the deal. Let's simplify all this. The reason it may seem confusing, although there's no cause and effect or time, is because the moment it's thought about, even if it's not on purpose, quote unquote, in the story, if trying to understand arises in any way, it's missed. It's already missed. So there's no center, there's no death. And there's no life either. This isn't life. No. This isn't death either. It's both life and death, but not even that. That's saying too much. Life and death are just concepts. Images are concepts. Everything that you see is an image, apparently. See, the trick is it doesn't matter. And it can be triggering to hear that it really doesn't matter if you get this or not. In fact, you will never get this. You will never understand this. Nobody understands this. Nobody wakes up. Nobody has a life. Nobody has anything. There's no future for you. You have no past. You don't exist. It only appears that way. That someone exists, that someone dies, that someone has a life, that somebody died, that a relationship is frustrating, and from kind of that starting place of nothing explodes a massive big bang of stories and concepts, but they're really all nothing. They're all the same thing. It's all just what's appearing. And to maybe go into more detail there, it can be very unsatisfying at times, apparently, to hear it's just what's happening. It's just what's happening. Yeah, that doesn't fucking help anyone. What do you mean? Duh, just what's happening, just what's... It's missed. It's missed. It's missed. Every time. While the, character is throwing a hissy fit, like I was just there a little bit, emptiness is laughing at you. Oh God. Because it's slapping you in the face. Don't you remember? You can't understand this. So what are you trying to do right now? You can't understand it. And that is uncomprehendable for the person, of course. The person needs to understand. The person needs understanding about its surroundings, about, these are just all concepts that support the illusion of a person. Now, I'm not saying that I know for sure about anything I'm saying. In fact, I have no idea what the fuck I'm saying right now. But although everything seems so real and so complex, the illusion is paper thin. It really is. No, I don't know that. I don't know that it's paper thin. You could say that it can't be described. Period. So my best attempt is to say maybe it's like a knowing without an understanding. It's kind of just like it's quick, and this can be called the glimpse, but it's when it's seen by nobody at all. Don't get stuck on that. Don't think about that. Don't try to understand what I mean by nobody at all, because it can be seen, but nobody can see it. Okay? Maybe just for a second, give up the belief you hold on to so tightly that you're someone. If you just suspend that for a bit, maybe. Like, okay. I don't know how it's possible. I'll try it right now. Like, I'm nobody. Okay. Maybe the best way to go about that, and this is a story and it's not going to get you anywhere that you're not already at, but you just chill out for a sec. Okay. All there is this, which is actually nothing at all. Okay? In this, there's nothing. I don't see anything. There's no I in this. The idea of an I can certainly arise, which is just a belief, which is just a word, which was taught to you at a young age, which is a story that appears to arise. Now, nobody knows what this is. And that's it. Game over. Ta-da! Nobody knows what this is. All there is this and nobody knows. It's not now, because it's already too late. There's no time. It's simpler than that. The concept of time is not needed. Concepts of anything are not needed. In fact, there's no real concepts. The concept of a concept was a concept that was taught to you by conceptual parents. There's none of that. It's just this. And so when you were a kid, which never happened, but in the memory of that, now, here, now, this, memory arising, whatever the memory was also just what's happening, which is another way of saying this, which can't be described. Because in order to describe this, there must be previous knowings by a person who was taught that. Stories. They're all stories. The Big Bang, it explodes back, forward in time, back in time. But if you kind of collapse it all, it really is all just nothing at all. Because although this is so full of everything you see, hear, think, touch, taste, smell, it is undescribable though. It although it's so full of everything, there is no knowing of what this all actually is. There's certainly a lot of stories about it. About a person who owns the perspective that person is seeing. Who says there's a person? When you were a baby, did you have a concept of a person? No. Do you have a concept of shapes? No. Color? No. It doesn't mean there was no color or shapes or taste or smell. But as a baby, there's no concepts. There's just sensations, but that's saying maybe too much. Because a baby doesn't know what a sensation is. Really all you can say as a baby is all that is happening is what seems to appear, whatever that is. And no one knows what that is. And here's the kicker. This is the end of it all. Nobody needs to know. It's not necessary. So when the fucking person can just give that up somehow, I guess I really don't need to understand it. I don't need to know. To know. In other words, another way of saying that, once the energy, the separate dualistic energy of needing to understand this and what this really is and means to me, when that's exhausted, when there's a point of just complete frustration maybe, there can, in this story, and this is all a story, there can appear a giving up, a fuck this, I don't want to hear another word. And maybe seeking appears again. Certainly with this character, it was back and forth. It was like a carrot on a stick. Even though they told me so many times that there's no knowing this, I didn't believe them. I could really see that they were different somehow. There's no I. It's simple. It's just whatever's appearing is really all there is and what it is, and good luck defining that. Good luck at knowing what that is. It's just this, but you can't come to a conclusion about it. Certainly you can try. Go for it, sucker. You don't need to. Just give it up. You really have no choice or say. So don't think you can go and give it up, because you can't. The energy will exhaust itself in apparent time. Because the energy of that seeking energy never arrives. It will never arrive. You will never arrive here. And maybe someday, the you, the me, the character, whatever, can just be so fed up, frustrated that maybe it just, it like gets its spirit broken, kind of. That's how it arose here. That's a good way of putting it. And then it's beautiful. Everything is. Because it's not happening to anybody, actually. So anything can arise, and it's fun. Dude. It's quite the rush, natural high to never know anything anymore. Not really, time doesn't exist. And I don't know that, so let me clarify. When I say time doesn't exist, what I mean is that I know nothing. I don't know anything. So I can't say whether time exists or not. But what I can say is that it has been seen here that there is no I. And so whatever is arising can appear to be an I. It can appear in any way, but there is really nothing behind it at all. Nothing. And so because there's nothing, if you want to play in the world of cause and effect, then you can say see, I forgot. I was trying to prove some point, I think, but it was basically that people can think that that the words coming out here, that there is a certainty behind them, and in fact, there is complete uncertainty in every way, and that space of freedom allows for everything. And so with that, whatever comes out just comes out of this mouth. And I don't know what it is, but there's nothing holding it back. There's certainly not someone here feeling bad or good about what they say anymore. Thank God. And there's never really been anyone here, but the craziest thing ever, man, is, or woman, is that when you feel like a real person who has a life to protect and family and relationships, all that time, although it feels so real, it's the same as when it feels completely unreal in a glimpse and it's seen that there's really nothing. It's the same. It's just, maybe you could say the only difference is that the story is magnified. But when it's seen, it's seen. And then it can be seen that no matter how close this magnification gets of reality, it's still nothing. And so now it's just more thrilling when it's more real, you know? It's perfect illusion, which is fun. or not. Doesn't matter really. All right. Bye-bye. Love you.